Hey, Shalom, call Allah, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Chahadash, the ones that are apostles and elders of great millstone that rule well. Shalom to you brothers in the highways and byways, doing the work sincerely and faithfully, and continually fighting that good fight of faith. Lord willing, we're found in that number to be delivered. All right. So I'm gonna go into a little article that I came across and a little bit of other information that ties in with this. All right. So this was breaking news the other day. Ohio train derailment highlights Democrats' environmental hypocrisy, reveals this about the disaster. All right. So clearly somewhere in Ohio, there was a train derailment that had all types of chemicals released into the air, toxic chemicals that were released into the air. And as you can see, the big plume of smoke here, right? So what I want to really get into, though, is a couple of different things. All right. So we always know that whatever Esau does, it's already, it's already pre-planned. It's already in their thoughts to do these things. Now, years ago, I believe it was a brother Tar 444. I want to say his name was Karatazar. I don't know if that brother's still around, but he had brought out that in that movie, The Knowing, there was an oil barge that had, blew up, and in short shit, right after that, the exact same thing mirrored what had happened in the movie. And this is the same situation we have here, because a lot of people like to talk about, the Simpsons, they predicted this and that, and people are all mystified. All right. But if you truly understand and look at what's happening in the elite's agenda, there's no mystery behind it, man. This is shit that they already put in place. All right. So what I want to do is I want to play this trailer called White Noise. All right. Now, this trailer, this movie, I should say, White Noise, was in the movie theaters for a short period of time. Then Netflix picked it up. But there's a telling story in this movie. Now, before I get there, let me just go back. Let's just set the stage a little bit. Okay, it says White Noise, a 2022 film. All right. And it just gives you the gist of what the film is all about. There was a absurd comedy, right? Drama. But within this comedy / drama, this situation happens. So let's go and check it out. I might skip around a little bit, but check it out. That's the trailer.
Okay, roll film.
Would you like that protein?
That stuff causes cancer in laboratory animals, in case you didn't know.
Either I chew gum or I smoke.
What are these children, yours?
That's mine from wives 1 and 3. There's Babette's from husband 2. Wilder is ours. We're each other's 4th.
Life is good, Jack. I hope it lasts forever.
Something that could actually kill someone. Let's watch a sitcom or something.
No! They're calling it the airborne toxic event.
It won't come this way.
Will we have to leave our home?
Of course not.
How do you know?
I just know.
Okay, what if it's dangerous?
Evacuate all places of residence.
All right, so just to rehash on this situation. All right, you've seen the first started to this. She talked about the gum causes cancer. All right, now the toxins that were released from this train derailment / crash mainly cause cancer. So again, you have to read between the lines on a lot of these things, because they're not going to tell you blatantly what's going on. All right. But if you notice, let's get back to it. This is the point. The train derailment was the cause of this toxic fumes, right? So let's go here. Okay. It says EPA lists additional chemicals released in East Palestine train derailment. All right, now this is February 13, 2023, 5 p.m. And look at that plume of smoke. All right. Now, keep in mind, this movie, White Noise, is filmed where? In Ohio. The very same place where these actual events are taking place. And it reads, the Environmental Protection Agency sent a letter to railroad company Norfolk Southern Friday documenting contaminants that could have been released into the environment, including 3 that have not been previously been reported. The agency also notified the company that it is potentially liable for the cleanup costs under the federal Superfund program. Point taken here. Of the roughly 50 train cars that derailed Friday, February 3rd, about 20 were listed as carrying hazardous materials on its website. The EPA posted a list provided by Norfolk Southern of the chemicals in the cars involved in the derailment. 2 chemicals, butyl alkylate and vinyl chloride, had previously been disclosed, with vinyl chloride leading to a mandatory evacuation last Monday. Now, going back to the film, let's just try to get right to the points here. Right here. Listen to what the little girl says. And the father.
Will we have to leave our home?
Of course not.
How do you know?
I just know.
Okay, what if it's dangerous?
Evacuate all places of residence.
Okay? She said, what if we have to leave our home? The father said no. And all of a sudden the police cruiser riding by and says, evacuate. All right? So again, these things that go on, these devils know exactly what they're doing. You know? You can't look at that as just a coincidence. This ain't no damn coincidence. A train derailment in Ohio in the movie from 2022. A train derailment in Ohio to 2023, releasing toxic chemicals with that big plume of smoke that, pretty much can be seen for miles. Okay? So, now, let me go, let me go here. Now, I typed in what are the effects of vinyl chloride. It says exposure to vinyl chloride may increase a person's risk of developing cancer. Now, at the outset of that movie, the girl was talking about the gum, and she said the gum causes cancer. Okay? So you got to tie these things together. It says human and animal studies show higher rates of liver, lung, and several other types of cancer. Being exposed to vinyl chloride can affect a person's liver, kidneys, lungs, spleen, nervous system, and blood. Okay? Now, also, doubling up on the fact that you a lot of you people, your immune system has been compromised. So this is also another facet of, controlling the pop, if you will, because a lot of people are gonna fall to this. You're not just gonna all of a sudden clean this type of shit up, man. Look at that big black smoke. And for the chemicals that have been released, you're gonna have particles all over the place. All right? This ain't just a mild accident where you can get a crew out there and start wiping shit up in a day or two. This may go on for years right here. All right? Now, I'm gonna go back to the story. me go back here. Where was I here? Now these are the things which this vinyl chloride is made. You know what's it used for? To make hard plastic resins, used to make a variety of plastic products, including pipes, wire, cable, coating, and packaging material. So that's what it's used for. Now, again, years ago in the 70s, you had Three Mile Island, where a nuclear reactor had went off, and with that nuclear reactor going off, or blowing up, if you will, chemicals were in the air, and they was telling the people the very same thing, that there was no significant reason to be worried or concerned. Right? Now, this is also a movie that's on Netflix. You can check that out. And this is a documentary, I should say. And and it just goes to show you, you cannot trust these people. All right? You cannot trust them. You had all these people living underneath this radiation plume from this reactor blowing up, and the people of the EPA was like, "Oh, don't worry about it. You guys are safe. There's no harm done." And then there was a mass exodus from that city. So let me finish off with this trailer, and just listen up.
We have a situation.
All we have to do is stay out of the way.
They're passing us, Dad.
Technically, that's illegal.
Do sheep have lashes?
Ask your father.
We're going sideways.
Dad, do sheep have lashes?
Doesn't anyone want to pay attention to what's actually happening?
Now you peep that? He said, "Doesn't anyone want to pay attention to actually what's happening?" Now, there's a river in Ohio that this train accident had taken place near, and they're afraid that the chemicals are going to contaminate the water. All right, and again, there's a lot of information here, but I just want to get the points out. It says the EPA stated that materials leaked during the incident were observed and detected in samples from Sulphur Run, Leslie Run, Bull Creek, Norfolk, Little Bear Creek, Little Beaver Creek, and Ohio River. All right, now that's where they were floating down. They were floating down the Ohio River. All right. It says the letter also states that materials were observed entering storm drains. So they're talking about cleanup. This ain't gonna be just no cleanup, and this is going to affect a lot of people. And a lot of people may very well come down with cancer and die. And you know how sensitive people's immune systems are these days, And this goes on to tell you about how many cars had, certain amounts of vinyl chloride and so on and so forth. But be that as it may, this is no coincidence. This isn't something that just needs to be taken lightly. Matter of fact, let me go back and just kind of continue that out.
I wish there was something I could do. I wish I could outthink the problem.
There are two kinds of people in the world. Killers and dyers. Most of us are dyers.
Right now we're safe. As long as the children are here, they need us.
For some persistent sense of large-scale ruin, we keep inventing hope.
All right. So there's two types of people in the world, killers and dyers. And this is what it's going to be coming down to. All right. This is when it's going to be coming down to. The book of Second Ezra says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. So in other words, somebody's going to be killed and somebody's going to die. And these are all little plagues that the Lord is going to start hitting Babylon with. All right. Here you have they'll tell you all about what's going on in Ukraine and how Russia's doing XYZ to Ukraine, but the majority of the masses don't even know what's going on in their own country because they're not telling you. Quiet has always been kept when it comes to shit like this. Right? And these devils don't want people to know. They don't want you to know what's going down. Micah 2:1, it says, woe unto them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. Right? And this is exactly what they do. You know, just by what this whole scenario was, you know, the trailer coming out in 2022, this actual incident taking place in the same state, under the same circumstances, in the same fashion as the movie, as it is written. It says, and when the morning is light, they practice it. So you can't trust these devils. You can't trust. The scriptures tell you, never trust your enemy. And who knows what else he got on the horizon, man? Who knows? And you can't sit there and be like, oh, you know, it's all being no. They're letting you know. They're blatantly letting you know what they're doing, and they don't care because you can't stop it and you can't do a damn thing about it. And this is why you got to have the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai on our side, man. Because these devils, the shit that they're going to conjure up, it's going to be evil, man. Psalm 64. Hear my voice, O power, in my prayer. Preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. All right? And these are prayers that we're going to need to speak and say to the Lord when these upcoming times come. You know? It says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrections of the workers of iniquity. All right? Everything that we've been seeing over the past 10 years has been the workers of iniquity. All right? The enemy. It says, who whet their tongues like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even the bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. All right? Would you consider this to be an evil matter? Absolutely. When you predict or plan, I should say, when you plan for, you know, toxic chemicals to be, you know, to be airborne throughout, you know, certain parts of the region, and have no care about, you know, anybody's life, that's a wicked thought, man. And it says, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? Right. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people are looking at this as just a freak accident. So they're not really putting a label on the face, if you will. And it says, they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. But the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And this is also another fashion of making their tongues to fall upon themselves. All right? You got movies, and then you got the actual event. So they're telling you, you know, indirectly telling you, this is what we're going to do, and you ain't going to be able to stop it. Bottom line. And again, without the power and the protection of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, a lot of you people are going to fall to these devils. And it says, and all men shall fear and shall declare the work of the Most High, for they shall wisely consider his doings. The righteous shall be glad in the Lord, and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glory. And that's us, man. We're going to trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, because the Lord's going to make a speedy riddance of all of our enemies and those who've come up against us, and the workers of iniquity, and those that shoot at the perfect, all our enemies. All right? So we got to hold on, man. We got to hold on with prayer, fasting, and commune with the brotherhood, because this is the only thing we're going to have in these last days as time starts to wind down before the time of Jacob's trouble really surfaces. And this is why the scripture says they're going to be like madmen, sparing none. Look at this shit, man. This shit looks like the damn plume of smoke from them towers that went down. All right? So as we are ordained to be watchers, we're going to bring out any and everything that comes out, because that's our job and our duty to do so. All right? So with that, I'm going to end it with that. And Lord willing, I'll see y'all brothers in another show. I say shalom.